we chose to experience our first Dia de Muertos in Mexico in the state of Michoacan. Morelia had some amazing decorations, a very interesting horror parade, a beautiful Katrina parade, and some intricately decorated altares. On the final day, we visited the small Pueblo Mágico of Pátzcuaro, known for its traditional Dia de Muertos celebrations.
We are Georgia and David. We quit our jobs to travel full-time around Mexico with our 14-year-old Sheltie-Poo Meep. Our goal is to take a picture with her in front of 100 Pueblo signs. When we first arrived to Morelia, they were already in full swing decorating everything for Dia de Muertos. You could see and smell cempasúchil all throughout the city, and there were giant artistically decorated skulls scattered throughout Centra. So we walked a little ways from our Airbnb to La Tarasca Fountain, and they're getting ready to do a parade of, terror cars. It's Caravana de Terror.
So we're looking forward to seeing exactly what this is.
The variety of vehicles involved in this parade was impressive. Cars, collectivos, bicycles, motorcycles, and even lowriders. I like the glow-in-the-dark perch mask a lot of people were wearing.
So the auto parade of terror just ended, and that was pretty neat. There were definitely varying levels of effort put in, but some of the displays were really, really cool. Last night, they actually had a zombie parade. We missed it, but Jenny and Kevin from Eat By La Travel have a video on their channel showing the zombie parade, and we watched them since we were back in North Carolina. They were part of our inspiration to come and start traveling Mexico. We've been hanging out with them for the past few days, and they are awesome people. So go check that out there, and then in 2 days, we will be checking out the Katrina parade. And I'm going to attempt to do my own Katrina makeup. We'll see how that goes. We are currently in the Centro area. They have the film festival going on, and they have made a bunch of tapetes, or carpets, out of flower petals.
The amount of time people took to put these tapetes together, just to be washed away or walked on, was impressive. If you saw our Zacatecas video, you know that we think it's the most beautiful city in Mexico, but Morelia may be taking that top spot. The next morning we encountered even more skulls. And stumbled upon a Dia de Muertos themed artisan market. Looks like they're putting the final touches on the decorations.
So this morning we've decided to try another carnitas spot. This is Carnitas Murillo, and you can see here we got a medio kilo of carnitas, and it looks like it's a good mix of fat and meat and skin. And then here we've got a bunch of sides. We've got onions and hot sauce and beans and tortilla chips and chicharron and lime and red salsa and pickled jalapenos and of course tortillas.
So after filling up on some delicious carnitas, we're going to check out the Calzada de las Poetas.
I had read online that there were going to be some altares set up for Dia de Muertos, so we're going to go check it out. There were quite a few altares on display, but the park itself is super beautiful. Even if you're not here for Dia de Muertos, I do suggest coming by. They have a planetarium. They have a big orchid garden that's under domes. They also have a theater here. And Morelia definitely takes its landscaping very seriously. There are trees and bushes in every shape you can imagine.
Today is Tuesday, November 1st, 2022, the first day of Dia de Muertos, and we're waiting for the Katrina parade.
So the Katrina parade is about to start in about an hour. We're going to see if we can snap some shots of the Katrinas as they get ready for the parade. I, of course, had to do my makeup for the occasion, so we're ready to go check things out.
So the Katrina parade is supposed to start in a minute, and as you can see, the streets are lined with people waiting.
I thought that the Katrina parade was absolutely amazing. There was a huge variety of Katrinas, from the more traditional ones you've seen before to quinceañera Katrinas, bridal Katrinas, even indigenous Katrinas. Some of the participants in the parade even had elaborate dances and performances, which definitely made it more interesting.
All right, so the Katrina parade just wrapped up.
One of the coolest things about spending Dia de Muertos in the week coming up to it here in Michoacan is that a lot of the smaller towns, especially around Lake Pátzcuaro, celebrate Day of the Dead in a more traditional way, and so we've got to experience some of that. But Morelia experiences it in maybe a slightly more commercial way. It seems like it's a hybrid almost between Halloween and Dia de Muertos, and we are loving it all.
After the parade, we strolled down to the Calzada Fray Antonio de San Miguel to see all the new tapetes and altars that had just been set up. It was impressive how elaborate some of them were, but the most impressive ones were around Plaza Morelos, where all the decorations were illuminated solely by candlelight.
I have to say, there really is nothing like Dia de Muertos. Every time we seem to turn a corner, there's something else to see. They're putting on another parade, there's another event. It is just so deeply celebrated by both the towns, the cities, as well as the people. You can't help but feel it. There is really no holiday in the U.S. that even comes close to the depth that this is celebrated. It is truly an amazing experience, and I highly recommend that if you can make it to Mexico for Dia de Muertos, do so, and especially if you can make it to the state of Michoacan. This is definitely the place to celebrate it. It is wild.
Today is November 2nd, the second day of Dia de Muertos, and we drove about 45 minutes from Morelia to Pátzcuaro, Pueblo Mágico.
This Pueblo Mágico is famous for their Dia de Muertos celebrations. They have a more traditional way of celebrating things. And I was really concerned about how crowded things might be, but we were able to find parking fairly easily. And it's busy, but it doesn't seem like it's overwhelmingly busy. I'm sure tonight
It's going to change.
It will probably change and be completely packed, but for now, it's quite pleasant, and they have an absolute ton of food stalls and craft vendors, so we are going to go check things out.
All of the pueblos around Lake Pátzcuaro are known for specific artistic specialties. Carved wooden items, hand-woven textiles, copper jewelry, and ceramic pottery, and all of them were available to buy. There's even one Pueblo Mágico whose claim to fame is their handcrafted guitars.
After appreciating the decorations in the main square, we continued on to the Biblioteca Publica Gertrudis Bocanegra, which clearly used to be a church and was beautiful on the inside. We continued walking up the street and then stumbled upon Parroquia de Guadalupe.
So this is the restaurant we decided to stop for lunch. I've got the sopa tarasca, as does David. We each have some negro modelo, and then we got an order of the corundas to split. All right, our main dishes have arrived. I got the molcajete de mar y tierra, so it has octopus and shrimp and chicken and steak. And then David got the arranchera, and Meep is ready for us to share our food.
We're in the municipal cemetery of Pátzcuaro.
Families are starting to gather around graves because today is the 2nd. So they have altares at home, which have their loved ones' favorite foods, as well as salt and water and incense, to try to bring them back for the evening. So they're ready to spend the evening with their loved ones. There are people eating, there are already people drinking. It's definitely a happy event. It is not a somber occasion.
So on our way back to Morelia, we stopped at some random cemetery. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely had a very local vibe. There were no other tourists there that we saw. And every grave, every single one was decorated. So obviously people took it upon themselves to decorate graves that weren't their families. It was absolutely packed. There are definitely more than 200 people there.
Yeah, I think everybody in the town was there probably.
A good portion of the cemetery smelled like beer. The party was really getting started, and right now it is just about 5:15. So I can only imagine how this is later in the evening. But of course, as tourists, we do not drive at night because we've been told we will turn into a pumpkin if we do so.
Yeah.
So we're going to head back to Morelia now.
All right, so we walked about 3 kilometers to the Pantheon Municipal of Morelia, and it's closed.
I did read online that it is more common in the communities around Pátzcuaro Lake that the families actually sit beside the graves all night until the sun comes up in the morning, to celebrate with the souls. In other parts of Mexico, apparently including Morelia, the altares are put in the home, and it is expected that the souls of the dead will actually celebrate with you in the house. Cemetery here is closed. There are a bunch of food stalls and vendors, so we are going to keep walking and check things out a little more. Well, initially I thought we'd failed walking all the way down here and finding the cemetery closed, but there's one hell of a street party going on. I've got agua de coco here, and I've got duraditos, which are basically the gorditas de nata smashed flat. And so they are a sweet, vanilla, crunchy, crispy cracker, and they are absolutely delicious.
Celebrating Dia de Muertos in the state of Michoacan was an absolutely amazing experience. Thank you so much for following along, and if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please leave them below. If you haven't already, check out last week's video where we visit some small towns around Lake Pátzcuaro as they prepare for Dia de Muertos.